Okay. I can't hear you, Sarge. I can't hear. I can't hear. No.
If you can hear me, give me a one in the chat. Can the guests hear me? Awesome, 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 awesome. Hey, man, Mama said there's going to be days like this, man, but we're going to get this thing going, man. So let's go. Hey, man, welcome to the Earn Elite Podcast Show. I apologize for that, man. Something's always going to happen. Believe it or not, I got up early this morning to get this thing together, man. It's always going to be something that's going to go wrong, but we're going to be all right, man. As you guys can see, we have some motorcycle riders on the screen today. When you look at these guys, man, you know, miles on miles on miles. So, hey, man, tell a friend, tell everybody, share it with everybody, man. Hey, we're going to be talking motorcycling today. Yep, we're going to be talking about motorcycling, man. And we're going to be talking about this particular subject, the IBA, man. What is this thing about? What is about this riding challenge? What is it about this membership, this club? What is going on with this thing, man? So hopefully today with the guests that I have on board, after we're done today on this podcast, you're going to be fully schooled up on what you need to know about IBA. Now, if you're not a motorcycle rider or you ride right down the corner from your house, you ain't got to worry about it, man. Don't worry about this show. This show ain't going to even matter for you. But if you're riding, you're making miles, you're making memories, you forging relationships, man, this is going to be the show for you. So, man, with that being said, let's say hello to our guest today. We'll go, let's go with you, Reef. What's happening, man? Morning.
Good morning.
Still can't
Can you hear me?
hear Reef.
I heard him.
I heard him.
I can hear him.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, can't get you. Reef, can you hear me?
I can you leave my Charlie.
Okay, let's see where we got you at. Can you guys hear me now?
We hear you.
Okay, awesome. I think I got it all done. Hey, I tell you what, Reef, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and do your introduction, my brother.
Good morning. How y'all doing? I'm Reef. I ride a little bit. Just a guy that likes to ride his motorcycle. I am a IBR finisher. Participated in the Hoka Head a couple times. Third time's the charm, hopefully. Got 97 certified iron butt rides as of today. Um, we have 98 headed to Iron Elite here in a couple days. So even if the weather don't change, I'm still going out. So yeah, I see y'all all at the Iron Elite for number
That's
98.
what's man. That's what's happening. What's happening? Piper, if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself? I know everybody know you, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Good morning, everyone. Piper, IBA association member. Thanks to my brother Reef, got me hooked on this lovely world of riding. I am two shy, so I'm 38 certified rides. So two shy of a platinum mount eater. I'm so excited.
That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Low key, what's happening, brother?
Hey, I'm low key. I'm a retired member of the Black Knights Motorcycle Club in Southern California. I reside in Houston, and I'm an amateur IBA guy. I only got a handful of documented winnings, and I've got about I think I got three baggies of receipts that I haven't submitted. Really bad with paperwork. So that'll get me. I think that'll get me up to 9 or 10 certified. But unofficially, I've got a ton of thou wows. Just
Yes.
and so my unofficial, undocumented, we'll call those thou wows. So I've probably during the course of my riding, I probably got 25 or 30 of those in just from traveling to different events or going cross country to events. And I'm excited to see you guys all at the Iron Elite too. And I'm trying to figure out what circuitous route I can take to make up the 100 miles that I would be short just from driving it from Houston to Jacksonville. So I'm gonna make up that 100 somewhere and make it
Get
fun
it.
and get that saddle. That's an easy saddle sore right there. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's what's up. Hey man, the next guy, man, I call him Batman, man. But I'll let him
Man.
introduce himself. Hey man, you don't even see this dude, man. You don't hear from him, man, and all of a sudden he pops up. Man, say, what's going on? Top of the morning, my brother.
Top of the morning to everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, this is K Solo, and I'm not tooting no horns. I ride just a little bit, just like the rest of those ground pounders you see on your screen. At all, I'm trying to emulate them and inspire. But yeah, I ride a little bit. IBR finisher, Hoka Hay, first finisher, 100,000 miles rider, twice documented. And I ride a little bit. Thank you. I ride a little bit, but
Hey, look,
today
let me,
is
hey,
trying
if you
to
don't mind, Solo, back up one time. He say Hoka Hay. You say Hoka Hay winner, right?
first
Please
finisher.
please tell everybody what does it take to win the Hoka Hay, man? What you got to do to win that thing?
And the stars got to align, the moon got to rotate, the
Absolutely.
ocean and the seas got to part just right for you. Because I tell you,
Hey,
everything between that 10,000 miles from start to finish is going to be out to stop you and get you, man. It's incredible.
wow, man! I tell you what,
Grit,
we
endurance,
ain't gonna let you off the
fortitude,
hook.
all of it.
What's that? Hey, Solo. What is the how what's the time frame on the 10,000 miles? Is it 10 days?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They give you, I think they may give you like 15 days or so, plus or minus. But, the goal, I set the goal of 10 days, 10,000 miles in 10 days, the toughest motorcycle challenge in America. That's what it's identified as or referred to. So my goal going out, when Reef and I first did it in 2020, our goal was 10 days. And that's what we set it on, because you can't come in before 10 days. So 10 days open the window for you to be able to finish. So the goal was to be there when they open the gate for you to be able to finish the Hoka Hay. And that's why we set it for 10 for 10.
man, that's
Okay.
crazy.
And don't get it twisted. These not super slab miles. 95% of the route is secondary roads.
Yeah.
Like what, man? You know what?
90,
That's a
yeah, 95 to 98% of back roads. And, you're going to be going through like Tail of the Dragon. You're going to be on the East Coast, West Coast, running up and down the mountains of Oregon and Seattle. So it's probably one of the most hard in this no GPS. So and you put that factor into no GPS turn by turn direction, it's super hard. It's super hard.
Man,
But
hey,
that's
you know
another
what?
show.
Yeah, that, man. Yeah. Yo, we coming back to that. We're gonna do that again. We're gonna talk about that again, man. Because I still try to figure that thing out, man. But I digress. We gonna go ahead and move on, man. But if you don't mind, Reef, let's kick this thing out, man. IBA. What does IBA stand for, and who can join this IBA?
So the IBA stands for the Iron Butt Association. They've been around for a while. It's presided by Michael Kneebone currently. Uh, Anybody that rides a motorcycle that does a minimum of 1,000 miles in 24 hours can submit to join the IBA. It's not a quick process for, especially if you're just starting. From time of submission to the time you get your first certificate back, it's probably about 5-6 months. But when you get that yellow envelope, your first yellow envelope in the mail, it's like Christmas. Even though you know it's coming, you're gonna be super excited. And then the bug gonna kick in, and then you're gonna be like Piper.
No stopping from
But
that.
the smallest ride that they certify is 1,000 miles in 24 hours. And then it goes up from there. They got bun burners, 1,500 miles in 36 hours. Bun burner goals, 1,500 miles in 24 hours, and ride around Americas and ride around America Gold Insanities and Ultimate Coast to Coast and kilometer rides if you're riding over in another country. There's a ton of different rides you can do to become a member of the Iron Butt Association. And once you finish, you get your unique 5-digit number, and you will carry that number to the day you die, unless you finish the Iron Butt Rally, and then you'll lose that number and you'll get a 3-digit number.
Wow. So this IBA get out, man, is pretty big. We're talking worldwide. Am I correct?
84 plus thousand members right now of the Iron Butt Association.
And growing.
Wow, that's crazy.
And
That's
the
crazy.
only way you can get in, you can't talk your way in, you can't podcast your way in. The only way to get in is to ride and get in.
You got to ride. You can't podcast your way in.
You
can't
can't
pay your way in.
podcast your way in. You got to ride to get in.
Look like no
Right,
votes,
right.
no voting.
No votes.
It don't matter who you know. If you don't know the miles, you're not getting in.
For sure. Hey, so can anybody expand a little bit on the history of IBA? How did it come about? Anything like that? Something quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was started with God damn it. So what's his name?
Not Dave. So not Dave?
Yeah, Dave McQueen.
Dave McQueen.
Dave McQueen used to head it up, and they used to just keep track. It was long distance riders that were doing extraordinary things way back in the day. It almost got to a point where it was actually about to die out because it was hard. They was a small group of people that was doing it. And then Michael Kneebone stepped in and revitalized it, and now it is the beast you see today. It's the biggest tracking organization that I know of for rides, that certified rides. And they're advancing, and it's making it easier, which is a good thing. Because there's some real challenging rides, and you can, if you especially if you start doing rides bigger than 1,000 miles, you'll see how complex it is to just for you to come up with the rides. But then for them to track that ride and to verify that ride, you can understand why it takes a minute. And then it's a good organization though. It's legit. It does cost to get your ride certified. One of the things I really like about it is you can once you submit your ride and you get all your documentation, you submit your ride, you're done until it's sent back. You don't have to keep track of a bunch of different things other than that one ride. Now, some of those rides, you may be tracking a lot of things. Like if you do 48 states in 10 days and you start doing the bigger rides, or you decide to do something stupid like fly to Hawaii and do a ride where you got to stop every 24 miles to get gas, you're gonna end up with a lot of receipts and things. So you have to track those things during that ride, but after you submit them, and now with Spotwalla, it makes it a whole lot easier because you don't have to do paper receipts. You can take pictures of and we'll talk about that more on how to submit different rides. But it's a lot easier
Yeah.
now than what it was when I first started 10 years ago.
Okay. Well, let's take it from this. Let's say, okay, so I'm a rider. I'm starting to feel pretty good about myself. I want to kind of branch out across America, and I want to ride, and I want to challenge myself. So I start off by, is there a website that I go to, and how do I register?
You don't need to register. Go ahead, Solo.
There is a website. It's the Iron Butt Association website. That's online. You can Google Iron Butt Association.
Yeah, I see Piper showing it now.
The IBA East.
Ironbutt.org.
Yeah, ironbutt.org. And the thing about it with that is it also shows you the list of members, because once you get your member number, you can go and you can see your member number and you can see other riders ride. That's one thing that I love about the IBA, documented rides. So exactly. So
you say, okay, hold up, Solo, real quick, if you don't mind me. You say you can go in there and see other riders ride that are riding or who have rode.
Yes. So people can tell you they may have ridden 30 IBA rides with an IBA member, but you can go and you can look and you can see this rider completed so many rides. These are the name of the rides, and it's documented. That's the key thing about the IBA is that their rides are documented and they go through an extreme verification process. And just a caveat of what Reed was saying is the IBA is located in USA, UK, Finland, Australia, all around the world.
Mexico, Canada.
Mexico. You can go and you could, once you get that rider's number, you can go and you can see the rides that they completed. That's why I love the fact when they say it's documented. Now,
and to piggyback real quick, Solo, off of yours, you don't have to have their IBA number. When you go to this list, if you hit
just type in their name.
you can type your name.
You
hit
can
Control
type in their
F
name
and put their name, and it'll list all their rides. Control F, because that's fine. Put their name in, and all their rides will be listed. Their dates, their times, the miles that they rode. It's all on.
Now with that website, when you go to the website, what they also offer is they offer a group chat where riders can discuss rides across the board. How did you do this ride? What did you find doing this ride? Probably about 2 years, I think it was 2 years ago, the IBA made Spotwalla their premier tracker, because you used to be able to use Google, you used to be able to use other different trackers, but they made Spotwalla the premier tracker, which made it a lot easier to do your rides, to document your rides, to help certify your rides. So that's one thing I love about being a member of the IBA, and the fact that you can get help from other riders, get help from the organization about rides and certification.
Okay, cool. So, anything else on registration? Anybody? Anything else that somebody like to add?
Well, too, when your initial ride, when your first ride, you need a witness to witness your paperwork, because you're gonna have paperwork to turn in, because you can't do your certification electronically unless you're a premier member. So they have all those forms there too. You can use police stations, fire stations. Someone who's there with you can take a picture of your odometer and have it. Initial, it just has to be someone else, but that's only for the first time that you do it.
So the first ride, I have to, I fill out the paperwork. It's got like a notary to verify what I'm submitting.
No, it doesn't have to be notarized, but there is a witness form that you complete.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Basically, have the contact information.
Yes.
It's not that difficult though, Sarge. I mean, you can get that witness could be the gas station attendant or the gas station that you buy your gas at.
Yes.
It can be your wife before you leave home to go to that gas station.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
A neighbor, a fellow rider.
Tell them don't use no side pieces though, Sarge.
Because I guess you have to put the
I had
Hey,
address
got some
look, hey, look.
problems.
and the phone number.
Bad document.
But
Right.
on my very first IBA ride, which was the coast to coast, the 50cc, they used to have that you can go to the police station or fire department right there in Jacksonville and get the verification. And I made the rookie mistake of getting my certification 2 hours before I actually took off because I took a nap. And that
Oh
rookie
wow.
move, I lost 2 hours of travel time because I was sleeping. But
Absolutely.
I
Wow.
digress. So
No,
get that
no
verification.
problem at all.
Yeah.
So okay. So we got the registration, how we do it, how everything's set up. So I've got all that set. Okay, so I got my date set. Say I'm starting tomorrow, and I'm gonna start. We said the basic ride, the beginner ride is a thou wow. Am I correct?
Wow.
That
Yep,
is that's
1,000 miles, and you
the
want to
minimum.
do a little more than 1,000. So,
Yes.
because they will adjust for odometer shortages.
Hey,
Okay, so cool.
Reef,
Yes, sir.
just elaborate a little bit on that so that people can understand the plus or minus of how your bike wear, the odometer. Just elaborate a
Yeah.
little bit.
So there's a lot that go into the science of it, but depend on the size tires you run in, the wind, everything is going to affect your actual mileage. The make of your bike. So what they do is they will adjust based off of the information they have from manufacturers and from years of doing this. So instead of doing 1,000 miles, you probably want to do at least 1,005, maybe 1,010, depending on your bike. Um,
Like a
and
1,040.
whatever the
Hon-
case may be,
Honestly,
there's been some real close ones. I think my closest one has been 1,002 miles. And I was worried that they weren't going to verify it. But I've been doing it for a while, so I know my bike and what I get back from the approved submissions. Especially once you get past your first one and you start using Spotwalla, Spotwalla is going to tell them exactly how long you've been riding, how many
Right.
miles you went, how fast you were going, how long you were stopped. It's going to give them all the data. So it's real easy to verify now. But your first one is a little more complicated because you have to really be on top of how far you went.
Okay,
And
so
one thing that
anyway,
you need to know is two riders can take off from the exact same gas station and
at the exact same time.
have two different finishing miles.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
don't get frustrated about it because they'll ask you on the certification, did you ride with anyone? And you can say, yes, I rode with Sharif. And when we both submit, they'll look at Sharif and they'll look at my paperwork and say, okay, Reef rode 155, K Solo rode 147. So don't get discouraged about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we did Hawaii, there was 50-mile difference between what my odometer said and what his Harley said. And we did this actually, we rode side by side the whole damn night,
The whole night.
the whole night.
yeah,
So
that wouldn't have been a
his
problem if you
odometer
had a
said we
Harley.
were over, mine said we were under. So guess what we did? We kept on riding.
We
Kept
kept
riding.
riding.
We kept riding because we
Hey,
had to be sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reef,
Well, hey,
it wouldn't have been a problem, Reef, if you would have had a Harley, man. That we would have had no issues.
Even on a Harley, the miles they
The
vary.
miles are
Yeah,
different.
Because I
yeah.
have done it. I've done it 3 times with other Harley riders. Solos on a rented Harley when we did it, and then I did it again with another Victory and another Harley, and we all had 3 different mileages, the same damn ride.
And
right.
I ride
So
with the guy who has a gold wing, and we ride side by side. We've done 5 rides together, and our mileage is always different. My mileage is always under his, so we have to ride further. I'm sorry, my mileage is always over his. He's like when I'm at 1,000, he's 40 miles under me. So we
Yeah.
just keep going. We usually go like 100 miles over.
Mhm.
So the day of the ride, okay, now I've gone and got my witness verification done, and I'm at my gas station, my first gas station. At that point, I have to have the receipt from the starting gas station, or I just have to have the picture from the starting gas station. How does that work?
the
So,
receipt from the starting gas
DVR.
station.
and so let me
Okay,
say this
okay,
too. You don't, it's a misconception that you have to start at a gas station. Some
Right.
people are planners and they fill their tank up ahead of time. You just need a dated and
Business.
timestamp receipt with the
BDR.
address. Yes, exactly. You can go to a Mac machine. You can buy a piece of gum. It does not have to be gas. It just has to be a dated timestamp receipt, like he said.
And on that
Okay.
receipt, you need the name of the establishment, the physical location of the establishment, the time, the date, and those are the major things you have to have. So, like, if you pull up to certain Exxon stations, it'll say Exxon station number 1972. Well, that ain't doing a bit of good for anybody,
Right.
No.
because it doesn't have the address. So, in that case, you either need to go in and see if they can print you one with the address. If there's nothing else around, you can get away with, hey, get a business card from the manager with the address on it, and then
Phone
have
number.
the person sign the receipt. It's your job to prove
Right.
that you were where you say you were
So
when you were there.
so
If they got
is
an
it
ATM,
better?
you may just want to go and get a receipt from the ATM that say, hey, this is the address.
And that's what I
But
use.
it
And
needs to
that's
have
what I
all
use
those
at Wells
things.
Fargo in Santa Monica. There's a Wells
Yep.
Fargo
Okay.
right around the corner from the
Yep.
store of the I-10 to the end, and that's what I use for my
Right.
dated time receipt to put in Spot Walla to show my
Yep.
location as a start of my 10 to the end.
Yes,
Because
sir.
you
Okay.
ain't gonna get
Closest
that
gas
Okay.
station.
Santa Monica.
Yep, the closest gas station in Santa Monica is like 2 or 3 miles away. So yes, that Mac
Right.
machine is
2 or 3
closest.
miles
So
and a lot of traffic.
what
Yeah.
isn't that like
Absolutely.
the Chevron? The Chevron when you first come in, right? Is that what you're talking about?
It is a
Yeah.
it is a
So
Chevron.
okay.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
So
small
so
and it's crowded all the time.
very small.
Like you
I've
said,
seen
and
always
it
crowded.
wastes time.
Always
It
crowded.
does. I
The
Little
time
was
suck.
store. Yeah. What's that
And it's
now?
$50 a gallon.
Oh yeah. Welcome to California.
That's right.
So so now, okay, so now I've got the
Hey,
I'm at the start point. I got my
let's before we get off the topic of the receipts,
mhm.
the business date receipt. Am I correct? BDR.
DBR, dated business
That's
receipt.
what they're going to require you to have. So get that in your mind if you're going to do an IBA ride. To keep that in mind. And what Reef and I have got this routine when we stop, we just yell out to each other spot to get our mind frame. Say spot. That means get your gas, get your DBR, get your picture, make sure that you got everything visible in the picture, all of that information that's required with your odometer. Now, used to write the number one on it, number two, whatever the case may be, in the miles on the receipt. But now they have got it. So all you need is that picture with all of the information, and they will accept that in your DBR.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if it's your first ride, still write the miles off your odometer on your receipt.
receipt.
On that first one.
Okay.
Your first one, write the miles on because that's what you're going to send in for your proof. So they're going to look
Right.
at, okay, on the receipt has the date and time, and this is your odometer miles. So that's your start miles. And then they'll go all the way through them all, and then they'll get to your last one, and they'll do the quick math. Okay, that was 1,000 miles, and you have to show a map of where you went anyway. Okay, we got the miles, we got the date, everything is good to go, and they're certified.
Okay. Hey, let's do this real quick because we just had him pop in. We got Big Country, man. What's happening, Big Country? What's good with you today, brother?
Sorry, I'm late, man.
Good morning.
So the
CPT,
miles
man.
keep on increasing.
Hey
He's on
man,
Arizona.
long
Hey,
night
what he
last
got?
night, brother.
Hey man, he out there on that West Coast, man. He out there on that West Coast, bro. Hey, that's what's happening. Hey, so okay, so all right, so from this point on, is it about so it's a receipt that's required every time I gas up, am I correct?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so and it's the same stuff that I normally have. Got to make sure it has the gas station address on it, the gas, the time, and I could just push on from there, right?
And again, it does not have to be gas like Piper specified, but it can be food. It can be, hey, you want to stop and get something to eat? Cool. You want to stop and take a nap? Because in South Sword, you got plenty of time to take a nap.
Yes.
So you
Okay.
need wherever you're stopping at, you get a receipt to say, hey, I'm stopping for longer than 30 minutes. Here's my receipt.
Okay.
And then you get back on it.
Hey, one other note. I don't know if y'all. I don't know if y'all. I don't know if y'all covered it already, but I was gonna say some people make the mistake of taking a picture of their trip meter instead of their odometer. So anytime you take a picture doing an IBA, it needs to be your odometer every single time, not the trip meter.
Got the trip meter.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because most of us have our trip meter on anyway, just to track
Exactly.
the miles and see what we're doing.
Yep.
Maybe gas.
You always have to
those
switch
type
it.
of things.
You have to switch it at the gas because I do the same thing. Well, normally I keep mine on my gas reserve, so I can watch how much gas I have. But then once I get to the gas station, I have a habit of switching to the odometer when I stop.
Okay, cool. So doesn't Spotwilder do the things that you guys were talking about that we do at the gas station with the receipts anyway? Wouldn't Spotwilder kind of show where your location is, how long you've been there, that type of stuff?
It does.
It does. So and that's part of what makes it easier. If I ride when I ride to you, for whatever, if I don't do another one in between there, whenever I ride to you and I submit my ride, probably within 2-3 hours of me submitting, my ride's gonna be verified that quick because of Spotwallet. Now, if I got to mail that in, no, it's gonna take a while.
Punishment.
And that's the benefit of using Spotwallet. But again, it's your job to get, and you want to get in the habit of doing it. Taking those pictures, even in Spotwallet, you have to. There's a process to make sure that picture shows up in your spot. And one of the things they're also looking for is to make sure you're getting gas before 350 miles. So when you look at all the people with the big old tanks and the auxiliary tanks, which probably won't have anything to do with most of your audience coming to Iron Elite, but the people with the extra tanks, they can run for days on end. But with IBA, you have to stop for gas before 350 miles of your last gas stop.
Correct.
Hey,
is there a particular?
Probably good to make the distinction. Make the distinction between your first Iron Butt saddle, so whatever you're going to do to join, and once you become a member, because on that first ride, you got to do it's a more manual process. They're not going to accept Spotwilder. It's almost like when you first set up an account and they want to verify the transfer, they might send a couple of cents first, and then back to you.
Yes.
Make sure you legit.
Yeah. So
make sure you know what you're doing.
The very first one you get is when you got to go get a witness, and the witness to ride, to start and at the end, and you need to take a picture of each receipt, and you need to write the mileage on the receipt, take a picture of your odometer. That's the first time. After that, it does get easier, right? But that first one, and I think it's important. Like the people that are watching right now, they may be old school like me. Like I just learned about Spotwilder from Reef at the RTE. So, if I was to submit like my little baggies with receipts, there ain't no Spotwilder for those, right? I'm gonna have to go old school, So the distinction would be after you're in, it gets easier.
Yeah.
And so even your first one, so although it's paperwork, you can still submit it. They call it electronically.
Electronic.
It's an email. You can enter all your information in an email, but you still have to scan in all of your receipts with the odometers and scan in your witness statement, scan in everything else. And you plot your receipt, and you have to attach a Google map or whatever other map thing that you're using, and they use that as a link in lieu of Spotwallet for the very first one. But then after you do that, just become a premier member, and you can use Spot, and you get your certs like that.
Okay. So when you say a premier member, so there's tiers of the membership?
Yes.
Okay.
So the basic is you just started and you got a membership. You got your 5-digit number, and it still takes a while for you to submit. If you submit a cert as a regular member, it's going to take a couple months before you get that cert back. And then the next step of that is Premier, where, okay, now if I submit a cert again, normally that same day, I'm getting an email back saying my ride's been certified. And then normally a day or two later, I get the cert, where the person that's a regular member is still waiting on their cert to come back. And then there's another one that's called Premier Plus, because you pay for Spotwallet data. So if you're Premier Plus, it covers your Spotwallet for the whole year as well. So there's 3 tiers to being a member of IBA.
So
hold on. There's also a fee with that.
There's a fee with that.
There's a fee with that. So the Premier is $40, and
The Premier Plus.
the Premier Plus is
It's
$50.
$80.
And with
$50.
that, like I say, with the Premier Plus, it covers your Spot Wallet data
For the year.
well.
Okay. So,
And that's once
so
a
if I
year. It's
got,
only
say,
$50 once a year. So
Right.
Yep.
So does the Premier Plus get me out of receipts? Ain't nothing getting me out of that. Huh?
Nothing gets you out of
You know what?
receipts,
Never
but you
get you
now
out of
can take
receipts.
your pictures
Small
in
amounts of
the
money.
Spot
The only reason I
Wallet.
say that,
Now
the only
you
reason I
can
say that
put
because now you can submit the Spot Wallet, right? I just
Right.
lost a little key.
And that's all you submit. With Premier Plus, you submit a link for your Spot Wallet and some other basic information about your ride, and you're done. It literally takes
pictures.
2 minutes.
Yeah, but your pictures are within your link. So
Yes.
that's why when you take your picture and it has everything in it, like the odometers in it, the receipts in it, everything. When you go on Spot Wallet, you can specify what it is, either gas stop, food, other, and it
Lodging,
drops it in your link.
lodging,
So
maintenance.
lodging, maintenance. So when you give them your link, they see your picture along that track. Reef or Solo, can you put up one of your
I'm
routes?
about to post a picture of it in the group now.
Okay.
Okay. So matter of fact, while he's doing that, I got another question. Okay, so I heard somebody say earlier, they said, if you're going to be stopped somewhere 30 minutes or longer, is there something with that? I think I just lost Solo. See if I can try to pull him back up here. There we go. I got you.
You see me?
Is there
Yeah.
something with that? You can't be, you can't stop past 30 minutes or
You can stop.
nah,
You
they,
can
stop
stop
as
as
long
long
as you
yeah,
as you
want, right?
want. You can stop as long as you want, as long
Here's
as you
what
fulfill that time frame that you're trying to accomplish in that ride. Just like Reese said, 1,000 miles in 24 hours, you have plenty of time to take a nap, go visit friends, do whatever.
you
But
can
at the end of the
technically
night,
stop for 5 hours and sleep.
yes,
Technically,
yep,
you can stop for 5, maybe even 6 hours and
yep,
sleep for a
yep,
saddle sore 1,000. I kid you not.
yes,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you danger close though. If you're doing that, you
Yeah,
danger
you
close.
It all
did.
depends
You
where
don't
you're
leave yourself
riding
no
at.
room for
You definitely
nothing.
got to know your terrain,
You
traffic,
don't leave yourself no room for traffic. You don't leave yourself
at
no
all.
room for
Yeah.
delays. Nothing at that point.
Hey,
Or
I
you
almost
see
got
that
caught up.
coming out the gas station, pump, and you got to go inside.
Right.
You don't want to do that.
I
Yeah.
almost got caught up by a month or so ago doing that.
Yeah. Hey man, because you go through like cities like Houston, man, you can get tricked off for
Oh
about
no.
3 hours.
No.
Man.
Oh no.
Houston's a hot mess, man.
See, you just changed the game. The dynamics of the game then.
Yeah.
As soon as
Yes.
you said
You done messed the whole game up, man. You sitting there looking crazy as a mug. Now you like, oh Lord, man, I done blew the
And
whole
it's
thing out the water.
devastating.
Hey, Sarge,
It's
hey,
devastating.
Sarge, I put it this way. I did the Santa Sword 1,000 right the day after Christmas, and I wasted 6 hours, like K Solo said. I wasted 6 hours. By the time I finished, I had 30 minutes left off the clock.
That's, so the
That's a little
ride
bit
is
too close,
also
brother.
It is. It's
for
very
sure.
close.
So the ride is also set up for you to not have to speed. Am I correct? Because of the time
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
frame
yeah.
and the miles that they give
Well,
you,
it depends on
so you
which.
don't have to get out there.
You
It
don't have to
depends on
speed,
which
but
one. Yeah.
you the key is you don't have to speed as far as speedometer wise, but you can't waste time at the gas station. Depending on
Well,
which
yeah,
one you're
yeah,
doing. Like
you got to get delivered.
anything
Yeah,
above the 1,000, anything above the SS 1,000, you can't spend hardly no time at the gas station.
yeah, okay. So not. Never mind. Some of my club
consistency.
brothers
Stay
might be
consistent.
So
trying to
all
say
of the Iron Butt Association, SCMA, all those organizations, they promote safe long distance riding.
Yes.
So things that are impossible. Solo and I are only ones to do a bum burner in Hawaii. If somebody was to go to Hawaii and say, I'm going to do a bum burner gold, they're damn lie. And they would never get certified because you can't physically do it in accordance with the speed limit in Hawaii. It's not possible to do a bum burner gold. So that's
Right.
something you can, even if you did it, because Piper almost did it, even if you do it, they wouldn't certify it because it's not promoting safe long distance riding. So
there we go. There we go. That's actually what I was thinking next. So Yeah. For you guys that don't like to sleep on the road and like K Solo can just go for like 50 hours with no sleep, they're gonna make sure they're gonna put that in check. Am I correct? So you have to sit at the gas station at the end, and basically you got to go ahead and take a nap because none of that time now you can't do nothing until that actual amount of time is there. Is that correct? Is that what I'm looking to see if I can get Piper back here? Lost it. Got you, Piper? Okay, we got you.
Yes,
So,
it knocked
so
me off because
Take
I
it,
was
Piper.
determined
Take
to
it.
get it. I wanted that. I wanted that bum burner so bad. Reef was like, "You got the saddle sore. Just relax. That's good enough." I was like, "I know,
yeah.
but
You could have did a bum burner, but you weren't gonna get a bum burner gold, and you was on
no."
the pace to do a.
Uh, yes,
So can people also within that particular challenge, can you do additional ones? Say, can I do something else with that Saddle Soul 1000?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Depending on
Piper.
how
Next.
I
far
know you
you're,
got to take this question.
this is my favorite because so for me, it's a cert, it's a certificate. They're all unique. Like so, the pictures that are on them, the reason you're riding. So if you have more than say 2,000 miles to ride, you can nest your rides. But the only bad thing about that is only one of the rides that you do will count towards your mile eater, which most of us who are earning the certificates are aiming to achieve. But like when I did the coast to coast, obviously you're going coast to coast, that's like 25 plus 100 miles. So you can do a saddle sore in there. You can do the bum burner gold, which is the 1,500 miles. You're over 2,000. That's 2,000 miles in 48 hours. In order to get coast to coast, it's a 50 cc. So you have to do that in 50 hours. Add 10 to the end is 48 hours for a regular, 39 hours for the gold. So within that, you're already earning, you got to get a bum burner in there somewhere. You're going to get 2,048 hours. And if you go fast, you can get 48 hours gold if you do it in under the 36. So and then you have all these certificates. So I got a 50 cc, I got an action to the end, I got a 2,000 gold, but only one of them counted towards my mile leader, but I got a lot of certs. And that's what I like.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Piper, can I say this? When you came through, when you came through, it was like a couple years ago. You had like 500 things you were doing at one time.
Yes. And I always
Piper.
look for
Piper's the
that.
next queen.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
she was
telling you.
not playing.
I,
The
I'm
So,
like,
so
I have
Mother
seven
IBA.
rides.
hey, Piper might not mind me saying this, but Piper was like, "Yeah, I'm doing the Iron 2010 to the end social experiment." I'm like,
Listen,
how do you
I
keep?
had
How do you?
everything.
How do
And
you
I'm like,
keep up with all that stuff?
it's so much fun. And then so within that, I can do like the barbecue ride because if you stop at 5 barbecue places 150 miles apart, you're on I-10. It's there. You can do barbecue ride, the ice cream ride, egg insanity, all together within those same 1,000 miles as long as you collect your receipts. But only one counts towards your mile eater. But you'll have three pretty certs sitting in your little book or in your frame. That's what I like.
Y'all can tell I'm getting a headache. I'm getting a headache just trying to hear about it,
Hey,
man. So,
look. Hey, look. Reef.
but don't you have to at the beginning of the ride? Yeah, I see. Brief got the big book with all them damn.
See?
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
Yes. I have a
Wow.
binder. Yes. Just I'm telling you, it's such an accomplishment, and I like it because it's not against anyone. It's you. It's a time. It's you. It's your strength. It's your agility. And like they said, it's planning. I'm not a planner. I'm so sporadic. So to actually have to sit and find restaurants certain miles apart, make sure that it meets all the criteria. Is it a chain restaurant or is it a mom and pop, which is what they normally want? It just my mind just turns. Like, what can I do today? What can I do today? Where can I go today? Like, they have selfie ones. I mean, they're just, it's endless.
Let,
It's
let me
endless
let
in
me
every day.
let me add on to what you're saying. That is one of the greatest things about the
Hold on.
IBA. they expose you to other rides other than just from point A to point B. That we've been riding from home base to this state to go to a party, and go back home. So now it exposes us to other things that we can do, ride to, see, participate in, that people sit and say, I didn't know about it. Join the IBA and you'll be exposed to it, and you'll find a ride. So, well, I want to do this ride. Well, come to find out, this is right in my backyard, and I never knew about it.
And
I'm with
sometimes
you on
there's
this, man.
history. That's like K Solo, thank you very much, is the person who certified the MLK I Have a Dream ride. So when you want to start a new ride, you have to run it yourself first. I believe it has to be run maybe like 4 or 5 times before they know that it can be official. But he created
They look for
a
10, but
whole
sometimes there's less.
he created a whole list of historical landmarks that you have to go to. So again, it's educational and it's knowledge. There's things behind, there's a purpose behind your pounding, and that's what I like, pounding with a purpose, because you're
Yes.
going anyway, you know what I mean. And like I said, there's like 50, 60 places on there that you can select, and you get to ride the Sunday before MLK Day, the Monday up to the Tuesday. You just have to have a receipt on the observed day, but you get time. And just like Country did the sleigh burner, oh, I'm sorry, the saddle sore, the Christmas sleigh store. You can do that's from the 23rd of December all the way to the 26th. So you get 4 days in order to capture that ride. So if Christmas Day you with your family, but you still want that beautiful cert, you can go the next day or the day before. Like I did that ride too, and I got the sleigh burner gold. I don't know what I was thinking. I was frosty. It was crazy, but it was Santa on a sled with presents, and I'm like, I want that. I want it really bad.
Hey,
Man, I wish I had your
Kodak asked,
enthusiasm, man.
is the IBA ride to Iron Elite? Yes. You can
Yes.
do an IBA
Yeah,
ride going to Iron Elite and get a
yeah,
certificate with the Iron Elite.
Logo.
yeah, we gonna get that though. That was supposed to
Okay.
be the teaser at the. We gonna get.
Oh,
Kodak,
my
hold
bad,
on.
my
We gonna
bad.
get
Hey, that's most
that.
hated
We gonna
right there,
get that.
boy.
Yeah, that's most
We
hated,
got you,
man.
most
You know he
hated.
all.
Love
That
you,
was
man.
Kodak.
He
I was
always
just
in
trying
a
to make
hurry
sure
to do
we answer
something.
his question.
Love you,
Yeah,
man.
he always gonna be a page ahead of everybody. Slow your butt behind down, man. We getting
You
there.
know he a
Hey,
slow roller,
so
man.
he think he is anyway. Hey, so okay, so just kind of bringing this thing into home. How many rides? Anybody know how many actually rides they have on the IBA? Is it a certain number, or we
Oh,
keep
Oh,
creating different ones?
that's
It's
what's
a
exciting. You can
Hold
keep
on, hold on.
creating
First,
ones.
let me go first. I'm gonna say this: with the people that we have on this podcast right now, I'm ashamed to even say my number.
No, he was
hey, hey,
asking, are there how many rides does the IBA have? So there
Hey,
are
I'm gonna
over 1,000
no, no,
rides
no.
because it's worldwide.
He's asking how many
Wow.
you have, Piper.
Oh, he
no,
said
no. What? Go for the towel.
You got what now? What'd you say,
hold
Reed?
on. I think it was a misunderstanding. I don't think
Yeah.
he
yes.
Yeah.
asked how many each of us have individually.
No,
I
no,
Oh,
think
no.
he asked how many
No,
have
oh,
no.
okay,
How
IBA
many
okay.
have.
does Iron
I
And
Butt
they
have?
have
Yeah.
yes.
on
How
their
many
list
does
over
Iron Butt
1,000.
have?
Oh,
Look
Yeah.
at,
gotcha,
look
Yes.
at.
gotcha.
Yes.
They have
So their big list
a
has
gold level,
thousands.
a platinum
Yes.
level, a titanium level, a diamond level, and that's what Reef and I are going for right now is our diamond level. And Lionel and Anthony
Anthony
Osborne
Osborne.
are the first 2 riders to complete the Mile Eater Black, and that is 200 plus certification, with 100 of them being
Being
over gold or
48.
insanity rides,
Hmm.
which is
Crazy.
Wow.
absolutely
The towel.
incredible. And I had the
And
distinct pleasure of
crazy.
riding with Lionel on his 200th ride when we went down to Florida. And I'm telling you, man,
Wow.
that's a feat right there within itself. To be,
Wow.
Crazy.
but there are multiple rides within the IBA that you can participate in. And like I say, there's the gold level, the platinum level, titanium level, diamond level, and the ultimate, which is the black level. Now, I may have heard somewhere that they may be trying to put one in between Diamond and Black. I don't know. I can't officially speak on that, but it gives us goals to set to reach the complete rides.
Oh man, that's
and another thing.
That's serious stuff.
It's not just a 3-cent piece of paper for the IBA ride. You're leaving behind your legacy.
Yes.
You're leaving behind your aspire to inspire, be legendary. This right here,
there it is.
This is a family heirloom.
Yes.
That son, that your son or daughter gonna look back and say, this is what my dad did. I remember my dad coming home and I was waiting for him. And he pulled up on his bike. George took a picture of Reef and I taking off on rides. This is going to be part of your legacy when you die, that your family going to look back and say, my dad did this. That's another reason why I love that.
And it's documented.
It's documented.
It's well documented.
It's well documented. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy stuff.
And again, rides happen every day. So just like your ride, although it's a saddle store 1,000 or wherever they're coming from, if they do a 2,000 or 1,500, your emblem, your logo on that cert is what makes it special. So even for clubs who have multiple chapters across the nation, if you can make a pound for pound, you have to hit 5 of the chapters at least 150 miles apart from each other in under 24 hours for 1,000 miles, or under 15. So you can create certs. That's why it's endless. Like it's endless. Someone can do a bubblegum cert. Go to these bubblegum factories and chew gum 5 seconds, take a picture, and leave. As long as it can be proven to be able to be completed, and like we said, 10 times, maybe 5, depending on the level of difficulty, and now there's a new ride. So it'll never end, because people are always inventing something. People are always excited about something. Something is always coming up, like, oh, that's the next IBA ride, as long as it's certified. And Michael Kneebone and his team are so approachable. They're so hands-on. They welcome it. They want to talk to you. They want you to reach out. They want you to help grow this small club, per se, that we're in. Small but large, you know what I mean? You have to be, it's an elite group of riders, because it is difficult, you know? Yes, it's easy to do it that. While people say it all the time, but can you document it? Can you keep that in order? Can you submit it? I too, like low key, have bags receipts from 2012. And I'm like, the ink is fading at this point. If I don't turn it in soon, I'm not going to be able to submit it. That's the hard part. For me, it was. I'm like, all this paper, all this in order, and turn it in. But like Reef always say, it's not a ride until you submit it and they certify it.
Well, good. Let's talk about that then. So we kind of got a good idea of what the rules are, what needs to happen. What are some quick things that could get you disqualified real fast? What can that? You miss a receipt, or
I'll give you one example
that I can experience the road just mess the whole thing up.
I'll give you one example. Like they have a ride called the in-state saddle sore. So the theory behind that is you have to do whatever you're doing 1,000 miles or 1,500 within the state, like Arizona, for example. If you go anywhere outside of the state of Arizona, you have to re-enter back in the same from the same location that you went out of it. And if you can't do that, you automatically disqualified.
And you got to have a good reason. It has to be a safety reason why you left out.
Right.
And that's where Spot Waller comes in. It's like when you blow up the map, it shows you to the point. If you cross that border and came back in, same thing with I-10 to then. You cannot get off of I-10. So when you're going through Louisiana, St. Charles, and the traffic put you on the 12, you get on that 12 and get up.
Yes, ma'am.
It's done.
Right.
Automatic qualified.
Other than that, the only thing is pretty much if you break down and you can't finish it in the timeline you was trying to do, then it's a wrap.
Right.
Sometimes if you're doing, for example, when I just came back from Key West, my goal was to do a bum burner goal from getting my pie, but the storms were too bad, so I bedded down for 5 hours, and then I finished my saddle sore. Instead of getting a bum burner goal, I still got a ride saddle sore. But my goal was a butt burner goal, but because of weather, it wouldn't let me be great. So I ended up getting. I finished with one of them with 3 minutes to spare, 5 miles over.
And that's
So
the
Same
tricky thing
thing.
too. Like it escaping. It took me 4 times to actually get a bum burner gold. I have 2 bum burner silvers and then a regular bum burner. So that's what I too like about that, because they changed it. It used to just be a regular and a gold, but now there's a silver in the middle. So a bum burner gold is the 1,524 hours, silver is 1,530, and a regular is 1,536. I got stuck at the toll booth in Vermont, and I was 2 minutes over 24 hours, and I cried.
so
Hey,
so there's no reprieve for weather. If
No,
weather is bad, it is what it is.
it
There's
is
a
what it
loss.
is.
hey, Reed.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
Okay.
What about Kenneth
similar
Andrews?
thing. Similar thing happened to me. I was doing a burner goal from Arizona to Alabama, and I was going to visit my family. And I was going through Texas, and there was like in the middle of the night. I mean, the weather was terrible. It was thunderstorming for like 2 hours, but I was trying to push through it, thinking it was going to stop eventually. It didn't stop. So my goal was I had the spot waller set up for 1,500. Like Reef, same situation with Reef. I literally had to pull over because it started getting so bad. I couldn't even see the lines in the road, and cars were swerving. I said, you know what? I had to call it quits. I literally pulled over, and I finished a saddle sore. And I had 1,001 miles when I stopped at
Hey,
the hotel. A thousand
prob-
and one
So
miles.
probably one of the most heartbreaking, I think, was Kenneth Andrews was doing the 48 and 10, and he missed one of the states.
Florida.
Miss Florida, never forget Florida.
Missed
He
Florida.
missed one of the states.
He missed Florida.
wow.
48 states in less than 10 days. He got through
Yeah.
everything. And once he went one state,
Yeah. So
Wow.
is each ride, is it the same cost for registration per ride, or maybe certain tier rides cost a little bit more? Is it just same fee all over the board?
No,
Yes.
the basic fee is $40 for a ride with no certificate, digital certificate. $45 for a saddle sore with a certificate, and then they go up. I think the most we ever done was 100 and something solo.
Yeah, that was when we did the Rat 48 right around the
Right
entire
around the
Caribbean.
48 in San Diego. I think it was like
Yeah,
115 or so. I don't
yeah.
remember, but it
Because it's
ranges.
more
Yeah.
it's more in depth of what they have to go through as far as
exactly.
certification.
Hmm.
So that's
Right.
why they charge you more.
A little bit more.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there is a different in price on different certs.
On the
And,
rides.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I
So
put links
typically,
up on the page under the comments in the chat.
okay.
So when you pull up that
Okay.
ride you
Cool.
want to do, it'll tell you how much it is, and
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's a sheet to give you all the rules as well.
Yeah.
Cool. 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 Matter of fact, I'm gonna start pushing that now. Okay. So man, we've covered a lot. We've covered a lot. So if you guys don't mind,
Isn't
we'll
it
kill a last
exciting?
segment with. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mike got that energy.
Hey, like I said, hey man,
All
I
the
watched
time.
Piper come through here, man. She had like 500 things. Matter of fact, me and the wife a couple times like, wow. not to mention, on your ride, it rained from
A
Jacksonville
monsoon.
all the way on the other side. What was it? It didn't start
Texas,
raining on you till almost El Paso.
at Baker,
It rained the whole damn
California.
ride.
Yes, I
It
promise
it
you.
was crazy. It was
It gave me
crazy.
a little
So I know
reprieve
you
in
got some.
Arizona, but then the clouds opened up 20 miles later and it was a torrential downpour. The cars were splashed, and I was like, goodness gracious.
Right.
My bike must have needed washed, and this is what they're trying to
Yeah.
do.
It
It's
was
so many different
crazy.
levels though, Sarge. Like the basic rides, and then you got gold rides, and you have insanity rides. It gives you so much more to shoot for, other than just going to that party from another state.
Absolutely.
And it
Well,
will. They even
Hoka
have
Head's an
insanity gold
insanity
rides,
ride to
and these
me.
rides are just that.
Yeah. Well, Hoka Head's an insanity to me.
That's a
Well,
different
here's
organization, though.
one.
It's
Here's
so,
one
but
that's gonna
yes,
be here's one that's going to be open for participants of the Hoka this year. Is that we'll be able to do the ultimate coast to coast, which is from Key West, Florida, all the way up to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, because we'll actually be starting in Key West and running up to Homer, Alaska. But if you want to continue on another 500 some miles with 400 being dirt roads up to Prudhoe Bay, you'll be able to qualify to get the ultimate coast to coast. I have done that one, and I'm gonna tell you that is a beast within itself. That is a beast within itself.
And for the people that's gonna try that, it's August and it's cold up in Alaska in August. So
very cold. Well, from what they tell me, very, 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 very cold. Wow, man, that's crazy. So, hey, so let me put out a disclaimer real quick. Okay, is somebody watching this podcast right here today that think they can do all this stuff, man? Sight unseen, ain't got yourself together. What do you guys suggest for people who want to get involved with this? Because let's be honest, for this group, 1,000 miles is like 10 miles. But for the average motorcycle rider, and I've done my research, the average motorcycle rider, man, does not do 1,000 miles in a truck. They don't.
I'll answer that.
Oh, no, let me take this, Country. Let me take. So
okay.
Country, me and Country, we go way back, and we were in the same club at one point in time. We were having breakfast, and I said, "Hey, let's go to Jacksonville. It's a long weekend. Let's go to Jacksonville and back, and we'll be back for work Tuesday." And Country looked at some other people, and he like, "There's a Jacksonville, California," and I like, "No, Jacksonville, Florida," and he like, "What?" And now, fast forward, 5 years, 6 years? He's on the show talking about IBA rides because he done got down with it. He wasn't down with it before. He was like, "I never do no shit like that." Now look at him. Look at him.
Crazy.
So my point is, everybody can do it.
Let me just add to this, Sarge. And I'm taking the whole screen up on this one. That joker you see right there, Sharif Asadi, is the cause of all these faces you see on your screen.
Wow.
Everybody show me your face. Because we got us in this, man.
I agree. To the point that I was at their ride to eat in Hammond, Louisiana, and that is when I achieved my Bun Burner Gold. And unbeknownst to me, I achieved the Saddle Sore 2000 Gold because he saw the numbers. I was like, "You got a Saddle Sore 2000 Gold." And as I'm sitting there eating my good hush puppy, I said, "I've been to all the states this year." Except because that was the year that I went to Alaska, but I hadn't been to Florida. And so I pulled it up on the map. And Pensacola was like, what's Pensacola from Hammond? 2.5 hours, maybe. Yeah, it must have been 2.5 hours.
About
like
that.
130 miles or something. I was like, "I'll be right back." They were like, "Where you going, Piper?"
Sure
I was
did.
like, "I'm on a mission." I was like, "I'll be back. I gotta go get Florida." And I rode to Florida, got to a seat. I went to the beach, and then and that was in August. And then I found I'm sorry, October. It's the first weekend in October. That was in October. Then I just instantly started looking for tickets to Hawaii. And I found a ticket the first week. Oh, it was Pearl Harbor the first week in December. And thank you again, Sharif. He shared his route for the Saddle Sore 1000 on Oahu. So I was able to get the 50 states in 1 year.
I think it's probably fair.
So let me ask.
It was still his fault. I was like talking to my boss, like, "I gotta go," because we have a blackout. We had licensing in January, and no one was able to go. I said, "I'm gonna write myself up. I'll write myself up. I'll suspend myself, but I could not go to Hawaii this year. When am I going to be able to do this again?" Now, fortunately, I have been able to do it again, but I didn't know at that time. You know what I mean? Tomorrow's not promised to you, you know? So I'm grateful for that. But Sharif, K Solo had it right. It's your fault, sir.
What were you saying, Country? Did you?
So I will say this, and this is why I tell my club brothers also. Man, long distance riding, and I use this example all the time whenever I'm talking to somebody about it that's interested in doing it. It's like going to the gym, you know what I'm saying, working out. If you ain't never been to the gym before, you can't walk in the gym and lift 300 pounds unless you just built like that. But if you work your to it,
That part.
eventually you'll get to that point. So long distance riding the same way. You can't just sometimes some people can just jump out there and think that no, you just automatically do it. You need to work your body up to it because sitting in the saddle for 1,000 miles, especially when you get anything past 1,000, 1,500 miles, the 2,000 mile rides, you sit in the saddle for a long time. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't just your body is it's gonna wear on you. So I recommend to people do short rides. Like hypothetically, I'm on the West Coast from Arizona to Vegas to California and back to Arizona, all in one trip. Don't even stop, get no hotel, no nothing. But at least
Right.
you do that a few times before you try to get out there and run 1,500 miles in 24 hours.
Well,
Build
that's the point
yourself
that I
up.
want to get at. Yeah,
And I
exactly. That's
definitely
the
been
point.
tested.
Well, yeah, that's the point I want to get in about all this stuff is that there's a crawl, walk, run to this thing to make sure that you can be safe and successful, because I have seen over time, same thing with the 10 to the end that people are taking off doing these things and they're not conditioning themselves to do it.
Exactly.
You got to condition yourself
Exactly.
to do it so it can be fun at the same time. You can be safe and successful. But, ladies, gentlemen, what we're gonna do is, if you guys don't mind, we'll bring this into the last segment because I know you guys got things to do. So, if you don't mind, and I'll take it around the room, if you can kind of sum up what IBA has done for you as far as achievements and challenges and what it taught you, or anything that you have to leave us with about the IBA program, if you don't mind.
Well, for me, I like again when me and Reef had that conversation at one time when he just brought up, I wasn't, it wasn't really in me at that time to run like that. But now, I run IBAs for two reasons. One, it gets me to where I'm going as fast as I can, not speed wise, but time wise.
On
And I can
task.
get there and I can rest and I can be done, waiting on everybody else to get there. So me doing iron butts, it just allows me to I can accomplish that and get my certificates and say this and show proof that this is what I did. Like what Reef and Kayla Solo said, I can look back and say my family can look back and say, oh, man, he did this while he was riding motorcycles.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Piper, break it down for us. Even
For
that we
me,
already know.
like I've look right.
You
For
got to
me,
go get
it's
gum and candy and go ahead,
it's
Piper. I'm sorry.
just
Go ahead.
I think a lot of times, even though you may be confident in yourself, you don't know how amazing and outstanding you are and what your abilities and your capabilities are until you push yourself to do it. And this just gives you a reason to do that, to make yourself better, to make yourself stronger, to make yourself like more, I guess, conditioned to be on task, because anybody who knows me knows that I'm all over the place all the time. I'm like
Well,
a jumping jack, but it makes me be stringent. And it's so funny, even in trying to obtain that bum burner gold, one of my other friends up in Vermont, I'm sorry, in Massachusetts, he said, you know what your problem is? You talk too much. Stay on task. Go, get it, and get out. Don't talk. Don't stop. Don't do anything unnecessarily. And he's absolutely right. Like I'm always multitasking. You can't really. You have to stay focused. And it's just giving me that ability to know, like, oh, I can concentrate. I can really pin it in and do it. I was just so excited to finally achieve that mission. Like again, it's just something for you. Like, and nobody can take it from you. No one. Like you definitely did all of that yourself. You know what I mean? You can build teams, and
Awesome
they're like,
stuff.
I did this, I did that. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Low key, I got the last thing from you, low key. So I'm gonna let you go last if you don't mind, because you're gonna introduce some stuff for me. Reeve, you kind of like the godfather of this thing, aren't you?
no, we just had a plan and it worked.
As it pertains to the rider of color, I'm starting to think that you the godfather of this. Is this true? Uh,
I'll
is it
say
true,
this:
Reeve?
Reef have
He's humble.
exposed something to a lot of people that they were not familiar with. You'll give them that credit. And I'll go ahead and answer your question, Sarge. What the IBA has done to me, not only the IBA, but the SMA, the Ride to Eat Across USA, and a lot of other rides out there have exposed me to, like I say, and this is when I initially started riding, I was riding from chapter to chapter in the club, from the East Coast to the West Coast and all in between. That's how you first start getting miles. And then you get exposed to something else, and then your passion will grow for it. My passion grew for it. And it exposed me to different places, location, ride arounds. It challenged me physically and mentally. It challenged the machines that I ride. I sit there and say I have confidence in my machine, because when I rode up to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska by myself, I mean, there's nothing for 400 miles. So my confidence in my machine was through the roof. So with that, the IBA is a great tool for anybody to use. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't say you can or can't do it. And people sit there and say, well, why do I need to spend money to say I've done something? It's not a matter of spending money to say you've done something. Like I say, you are leaving behind a legacy of what you have accomplished as a motorcycle rider, a motorcycle enthusiast, for people, your family member, to sit there and say, that's what my loved one did. So for me, it has exposed me to some, and also the IBA Jacks party. A lot of people don't know about that, and I'm going to speak on that. The Iron Butt Association Jacks party getting ready to kick off in March. You need to look into it. Come down and meet Dave McQueen, a 1,000,000-mile rider. We got people that's getting ready to get inducted for riding 100,000 miles in a year, and talk to them and find out how did they do it. How did you do it? That's 260-some miles a day for 365 days. How did you do that? So it exposes you to people, and people come together just like we do for the RTE. We want to talk to you. Come and ask us questions. You seen the person, Iron Butt Rally. Guy finished it on a Hayabusa. You say, what? A Hayabusa? 10,000 miles? Yes. So that's what the IBA has done for me. That's why I enjoy it. That's why I participate in it. There's no chest thumping. I done more than you. You done more than me. Heck, it's just a great tool to use. That's all. That's what I would like to just share.
Man, that's awesome stuff, man. That's awesome stuff. Hey, low key, I'm gonna sum this up, and then I'm gonna turn this over to you, low key, if you don't mind. Let me just say this, man. One of the greatest, and this is no hyperbole. This is no cap. One of the greatest experiences that I've had. Of course, I ride with a club, and we know what clubs do. They ride and they go to club stuff. And there's not a whole lot in between. It's there, back home, and what you do while you're on your run. But to go to an RTE and to be able to sit from people from different walks of life, clubs, whatever, no clubs, independent, and to be able to talk about motorcycling, man, was one of the coolest experiences that I've ever had, man. To just talk about motorcycle, be able to I ain't got no hair, so I can't say let my hair down, but just to be able to discuss things about motorcycling. And again, no egos, no big me, no little you. You don't know what the hell you talking about. It was just people teaching, learning, sharing. Man, I'm telling you, if you had gone, I know them guys don't want me, RTE, we want to keep it where we need to keep it at, but the RTE was a great, great, great time, because all we did was we kept motorcycling.
Family reunion.
It's
our
family
8th year,
reunion.
going on our 9th year.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. That was the largest pack I've ever rode my whole entire life, man. So shout out to those guys, man, because they knew what the hell they were doing. And anybody know me, I don't ride in packs, especially foreign packs. But in that one, I felt very, very comfortable, because I knew the experience of the motorcycle riders that were there was just from as far as the East was from the West. But low key, if you don't mind, man, let's sum this up. Let's bring it in and let's tell them about what we got going on based off this whole IBA get out. Hold up. Think we don't, let's see. Don't have, for some reason,
he's on mute.
Volume on you, brother.
He's on mute or something.
He may be muted.
Hey, everybody but him.
What about that? Low key. Okay, just figures. I'm gonna get you to. I don't have you on mute, brother, so I don't know if it's your phone, but if you can pop out, pop back in real fast, see what happens, because I don't have you on mute. See if we can pop him back in. It's always some bull. Let's give him 1 second to pop in.
Quickly
There's always something, huh?
to piggyback off of what Solo said while we're waiting for low key. People have asked me this too, like why do you keep paying for these certs? And it's like it's an
All
investment
right.
in
You hear
yourself.
me?
We can hear you.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can hear you. Okay.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
we'll let Piper finish up her thought, and then we'll turn it over to you, my brother.
Okay. Cool.
Just really
Go for it,
quickly.
Piper.
It's an investment in yourself. Like we spend money on less and on things that aren't there anymore. Like we go out to lunch and or to eat. Like you eat that meal, then you discard it, But paying $40 for a cert that you have forever, you know what I mean? Like that's worth it, and it's on you. It's showing again your self worth and self care. That's all.
Hey, so I don't care about the whole $40 get out because you know what they're gonna do with that $40? They're gonna turn around and
Waste
buy
it,
a couple cases of beer. Man, shut up.
and it's gone, and you have
Ain't
nothing
nobody
to
want to
show
hear
for it.
nothing. You
Yep.
have nothing to show for it. A carton
Yep.
of cigarettes, man. Get out of here. Okay, Loki, we're gonna turn it over to you, man.
Hey. First, I just want to thank everybody because, contrary to what you guys might think, I'm kind of at least prior to this podcast, I was the skeptic on IBA, right? I've done, a couple of them just as a rite of passage, right? And I do have on my phone. I think I have two, and then I got baggies with others where I could submit them, but I haven't because my attitude was, why do I got to pay $55 for something that I know I did, right? So just being fully transparent, you guys have all inspired me, especially when I see Solo and Reek pull out the big ass photo albums they got over there. That kind of hit home because my family, I leave all the time. When I leave and go places, you know I could have, it's like, hey, mama, hey, sons, this is what dad was going to do. And it would be a conversation piece for them, later on. So I think I'm going to strive to document, because even my thing has always been the paperwork, right? And that was prior to Spotweiler or any of that kind of stuff. But I always but in spite of that, I still, the ones that I've done, I did them as kind of a rite of passage because I consider myself, even though I'm an amateur rider, compared to these folks on this podcast, I still consider myself, a competent long distance rider, and I wanted to have proof. It's kind of like going to Sturgis, right? I think every motorcycle rider should go for themselves. Don't listen to people tell you that, oh, it's not for blacks or this or that or whatever. Go for yourself and experience for yourself. And check that off your motorcycle bucket list. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. I wanted to answer one of the questions in the comments from Vernon Poe. He asked if he had the receipts from 2021, could he still submit it? And like Piper said earlier, my first Iron Butt, I did it in 2012, and I don't think I submitted it until 2017. So I had a witness. The only thing that was kind of sketchy was the witness, right? My witness no longer worked there, so it took longer to verify that first one. But literally got the idea from Reef. He was at our clubhouse. Me and a bunch of guys were supposed to do a turn and burn in the Grand Canyon from LA to go get steak dinners, and we had 8 people say they're gonna go, and only 2 people showed up at the gas stop that next morning. So. And both of us did it, and that was my first Iron Butt. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Sorry, one other thing, we talked about safety. There's this theme of safety kind of intertwined in all the conversations. I wanted to share with you guys, just really the onlookers. I had a conversation with Mike Kneebone from the IBA, and I want to echo what Reef and Solo have both said about safety. The IBA does not certify any rides that in order to complete them, you have to legally exceed the speed limit. So I'll give you an idea. For example, if you want to do 1,000 miles in 24 hours, the average speed you'd go if you went nonstop is only 41 miles per hour. And we all know Piper was going 90 miles per hour, which means she could sleep for about 10 hours and still get it done, right? So 1,500, even one of the more difficult challenges that has eluded me a couple of times. One time I was on that damn bridge there on my way to Ocean City, Maryland, and I just watched the rain fall while I was sitting at a gas station, and I missed that damn thing by 40 minutes, man. And so that bud burner gold is an elusive one. It's hard to get because everything's got to go perfectly for you. But even the bud burner gold, which is a more advanced ride, 1,524, the average speed limit that you would do if you went nonstop is 62 miles an hour. So the IBA does not certify any rides that basically would exceed the speed limit in the given time allowed. The other thing that he brought up that they stopped doing because it was encouraging speeding is he stopped time stamping it and ranking people. They stopped doing that because people were racing, because they wanted to be higher in the ranking. So they stopped time stamping it, and it's just, hey, if you did your 1,000 in 12 hours, that's hallelujah, you get the certificate. But at some point, if it shows excessive speed, then they're not going to certify you, right? So it's not you should not sacrifice your safety or break the law in achieving any of these certifications.
Absolutely.
All right. So just a couple of tips that I was writing some notes down while our esteemed guest was schooling me on how this thing works, especially with Spotweiler. This is really the tips on the first ride. The reason we're doing this is because, as Sarge said and as Reef said, we're going to have a Iron Elite certification, IBA certification. So for a lot of people, if you've already done them and you're already certified, then you can use Spotweiler and submit the way you always have. The only thing we're going to ask you is to shoot myself or Sarge and DM us so we can send you the form that we want you to submit with your submission, so that it gets we can account for the people that are doing this particular ride associated with the Iron Elite. So for the first ride, this is for first riders. You got to have that witness, first time IBAs. You got to have that witness certification. So whether you get it at a gas station, your spouse, wherever you get that witness from, make sure that you have that before you start. Remember what Country and Solo said about, once you take that first picture, you better get your butt on the road. Don't have no delays. Don't go take a nap because the clock is started from when you take that first picture, right?
Yep.
So leave right away. Make sure that the address is of the establishment that you get the receipt from is visible. You still want to take a picture next to the odometer. You want to make sure the address and the timestamp is on the receipt. And actually, it's not a bad idea to write the mileage from your odometer on the receipt as well. Although since you submit the picture, it's not necessary, but I would err on the side of over documenting this first ride until you get into the groove of things. All IBA rides are eligible to become an Iron Elite certification, okay? Ride. So if you want to do, like in Country's case, he's coming from Arizona. He's got, very close to, if not, it's right at 2,000 miles. So if he knocks that out within 48 hours, he's got, a couple saddle sores. He got saddle sore 1,000. He's got 2,000. There's a lot of opportunities out there en route to Iron Elite. Even if you're in Jacksonville, and as Piper and Country have mentioned, you can create your own ride en route to Iron Elite. So even if you're right there in Jacksonville, Sarge told me earlier that mile marker zero, a turn and burn at mile marker zero will give you a little over 1,000 miles if you live in Jacksonville.
If you leave Jacksonville and go to Gulfport, if you leave Jacksonville and do I-10 to Gulfport, Mississippi, that's 1,058 miles.
Round trip.
Round trip. to go
Okay.
for and back. You can do that too. And
Yep.
10 is usually non-traffic, so you should be able to do
Yeah.
45 minutes, but adding in gas like 16 hours, somewhere around
Yeah.
there, 17.
Good. That's good. That's good. So different ideas. I think I could speak for anybody on here. If you got questions about just any of the rules or whatever, feel free to reach out, DM us, or if you have our number, text us, call us, whatever.
Yes.
I know we're happy to help you guys. But we're looking forward to seeing everybody and we what really gave us the idea was that Reef and Solo had the certification for the RTE that they just had at the barbecue spot, and we thought, hey, we should have one. We should, we've been talking about it a lot. The Bells talked about Iron Butts during their debriefs in the I-10 to the end. So we just wanted to make sure we were passing on content that again is useful for the group, and it makes it fun for us, man. It gives us one more thing to talk about. Remember that the page for the IBA is the Iron Butt Association.org. There's a lot of links, FAQs, and things there that'll answer a lot of the questions that you might have. If you send them an email, they're going to respond pretty quickly. That's how we got the conversation started. We just sent them an email through the website and told them that we wanted to certify this ride. Mike, the president of the association, he got back to us, right away. And even once I sent him, our emails, he sent us mock-ups of the certificate and everything within 48 hours. So this thing is all set up for you guys. It's a great incentive, and it's a great way to kind of certify, your ground pounding prowess. When people look at your vest or look in your photo album and see those patches, it does mean something. So
It does.
with that, Sarge, I don't know if did I miss anything?
I
Any questions?
just really
No, I
quickly,
think you.
Yep.
when you're looking at your receipt, because this happened to someone, make sure that the time is correct. Sometimes they do not set the register to the
That's a
correct
good point.
time.
I
So
had that.
Good piece. Yeah.
so if it's 2 a.m. and you're leaving, but your receipt says 11:30 p.m., that just added 3 hours to your time that
Right.
you lost, that you weren't on the road. So make sure you really, really pay attention to the date, that the date is correct and the time is correct on your receipt.
Right.
And
Hey,
so,
also along those lines, Piper, if you're traveling through multiple time zones, you get 24 hours regardless of time zone you leave
yes,
in. Okay, so whatever your origin is, that's the clock. That's the 24 hours. So don't
yes,
try to steal hours when you go back in time. One way or the other to get it. It's a straight 24, and it's based on your origin
time,
receipt.
yes.
Hey,
Did I
one other
miss
thing to
anything
add.
else, Reef?
One other
Solo?
thing to add about the receipt. A lot of gas stations, the time and the location and the date is on the top of the receipt, but then there are some gas stations where the time and the date is on the bottom of the receipt. So you have to make sure when you take a picture. Sometimes you have to take a picture of the entire receipt next to your odometer, and then sometimes you can just take the picture of the top of the receipt that has all the information on it. So you have to pay attention to where all the information is located. Then there are
Right.
times where had gas receipts where the date and the address was on the top, but the time was on the bottom. So I had to fold the receipt to make sure I get everything in one shot.
Coupons. You got all them coupons, all that crap on the way
Yes,
too.
like
Yeah.
CVS. When I ended my 48 and 10, it was at a CVS, and that's a long receipt, so I had to fold
Those
it like
coupons.
entry said.
Right. Right. So hey, just remember, if you got any questions, DM us. If you're planning to, even if you may not be sure, even if you think you might do some kind of an Iron IBA ride en route to the Iron Elite, DM me or Sarge, and we'll send you the application, the form that we want you to use. The reason we want to do that is so that the IBA, so that when they receive this, they can basically let us know how many people from Iron Elite completed this ride. So we've already filled out the name of the ride, and we're calling it the 2024 Ride to the Iron Elite. And it could be a saddle sore, bun burner, it could be silvers, golds, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do what IBA ride you do en route. but we're gonna title it 2024 Ride to the Iron Elite, and then it'll be Saddle Store 1000 or whatever ride you complete. Okay, but we want you to use that form. So the reason we want you to reach out to me and Sarge is so we can email you the form. So when you reach out to us, DM us and just say, hey, send me the form, and put your email address in there, and we'll send it to you. Sarge?
Hey, there it is. There it is, man. We can't hold everybody all day, even that I'd like to. But I'm gonna sum it up and say this real quick, man. We've done a awesome job, and thank you guys, lady, on the panel. Over the last 2 months, we've been putting it out there with you. Everything from motorcycle safety on the highway to ESP to riding in cold weather. Man, we've talked about it from A to Z. We know Iron Elite is in 2 weeks. I just ask that you guys go back, who are listening or right now or watching, go back and review those notes, man, to make sure that you do everything that you can to assure that you'll ride or mitigate the possibility of any risk on the highway, man. The Iron Elite podcast, we're trying to give you guys all this sauce to make sure that you can ride safely, efficiently, and most important, be successful, man. So there it is. Guest, I really appreciate you guys' time today. I know your time is precious, but I'm telling you, if you didn't learn nothing today from all these guys and this lady, man, I don't know what to tell you. Y'all done put it down, man. So I thank you guys. I thank you. I thank you.
We appreciate you too. We appreciate you too.
In the meantime, let's keep it motorcycling, you dig? Thank you, guys. Y'all take care. God
Have a
bless.
good afternoon, everyone.
Ciao.
So there it is, man. We put it out there for you guys. Hopefully, this was a good educational and entertaining podcast today for you guys. We plan on doing a lot more of this type of stuff, and again, trying to teach how to do things the smart way, the right way. Do we always have all the answers? Of course not. But we're going to give you at least some ideas and some things to look at to help you to become the greatest motorcycle rider that you can become. Just want to throw some notes out. Iron Elite event, February 2nd, February 3rd, man. It's coming right around the corner. Man, even as late as this morning, I've had people reach out to me, inbox me, hey, Sarge, what's the information on the Iron Elite? Hey, Sarge, what's the hotel? Hey, Sarge, what's the schedule of it? I tell you, I assure you, if you take the time to go on the Iron Elite page, you'll see everything that you need to know about the event in the pent-up section. It has host hotel, it has the overflow hotel, it has the schedule of events, it has the flyer itself, the who, what, when, where, and how is right there on that page. So if you hadn't joined the page, please join the page. The page is called Iron Elite, home of the motorcycle elite, man. That page is right there. Send us a request, man. We'll get you on that page. Also, YouTube, Sarge, Life and Motorcycling, man. I'll put the link in the description so you guys will have that as well. But hey, man, we're going to keep bringing it to you guys. I ask you guys humbly, please subscribe, like, share the channel, man, so we can grow this thing and become a lot bigger and better. Please share and like the page, man, so we can take this thing to new heights in 2024. I like to thank Reef, Big Country, Piper, K Solo, Low Key, man. Those are my go-to folks when it comes to bringing quality content about motorcycling, because they have tons of experiences on how to do things the right way when it comes to long distance motorcycle riding, man. So with that being said, hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday, man. And in the meantime, y'all keep it motorcycling, you dig?